Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1970 Seattle Pilots What If Scenario. Today we wrap up the month of August and we will have this video which is a summary of the month, plus we will take a look at the September call-ups as well as a look at the standings and a look at the league leaders for the American League and the National League as we roll the calendar over to September. We only have 28 games to play here on out. And I guess we should start with the month of August. Let's just briefly talk about this. We'll spend 30 seconds on it. Now, in the month of August, you can see here, we went 13 and 14. I think that is about as unexpected as you could get. I mean, we were 8 and 16 in July. And the previous month, we were we were at 500. So we're coming off a terrible month of July, and we just finished one game under. And that is thanks to, I think, us pulling up Dennis Leonard and Dick Ruthven into the bullpen. We did it right here toward the end of the month and gave them each less than 10 innings pitched to give them opportunity to see what they're capable of doing before we move them into the rotation, which they now are in for the month of August. So I think having competent, highly rated players contributing has helped us get to respectability for the month of August. We only need, 4 victories to guarantee that we will not have a 100-loss season. And I guess that's not much of a target, but it will at least make me feel better about the direction this club is heading. Okay, so our final game of the month earlier today, we won 11-9 in a walk-off 12th inning home run by Darren Johnson. That was a big hit, and that certainly helped us out. We flipped the calendar to September. As I mentioned, we have 28 games to go. In this month, we will have our final giveaway for the season. It will take place on the last day of the regular season. We will be giving away 3 prizes. Usually one is pretty substantial, and the other 2 will be second and third place in decreasing increments of value, I suppose, is the best way to explain that. So that will take place right at the end of the month in this final game versus the Indians. Give me a couple of weeks to get everything together, and then we'll discuss it more and start taking participants for that giveaway. You do have to be a subscriber to the channel in order to participate, so please be a subscriber, okay? Now, I guess with the final 28 games, it's pretty obvious if you just look here that we are playing all of those games against the American League East. We are done with the West. We will not play any more games versus our own division. I don't know why the game is drawn up that way. I'm just saying these are facts, okay? Once the season is over, we will have a separate video in which we will have all of the playoffs and free agency combined into one video, and that way we can wrap it all up as I get an Instagram post here. And that way we'll wrap it all up in one video, and then we will move on to the next series, which will be the 1985 Detroit Tigers season replay, our 6th and final year of doing that game. It's been up and down. We've made the playoffs twice, and I've already gone through and done all the work for prepping the season, other than doing the stadium effects. That's the only thing that I've yet to do to get that ready to go. So be aware of that. Now, let's go ahead and start with the September call-ups. I've already put the roster together for the AA and AAA players that we've called up. And what I've done is I've put them in order of usage. So those who say bench are players who are available to us now each and every game for the rest of the year. The one player that I'm most interested in is Greg Pryor, who we drafted last year. He's 20 years old. He's played, basically almost one full season in Single A, and then 67 games here in Double A. He's not tearing the cover off the ball, but defensively he's good. As you can see, he's got a 92 arm, an 82 range at third, an 81 fielding. So he's already major league quality defensive ratings. And I just kind of want to see what he's going to do. I'd like him to get, 50 at-bats. So that means he may have to take some at-bats away from Rich Rollins and Aurelio Rodriguez. Neither one of them, like Rich Rollins is not in our future. Although I think he does have 2 more seasons, right? Yeah, through 72. So we're not paying him very much, and he could be a good bench guy, at least until we cut him. But I believe Aurelio Rodriguez will be our everyday third baseman next year for sure. So that is one of the things that I want to see. All these other guys are pinch hit, an occasional start. I don't mind seeing Duffy Dyer, get a couple of starts. I wouldn't even mind if John Bocabella gets a couple starts behind the plate. Otherwise, these other guys you're probably not going to see. I personally like Johnny Jeter quite a bit. He's got such great outfield defense ratings anyway. He doesn't have a good fielding rating. But I think he'll get some at-bats as a 5th outfielder, but that's the extent. Otherwise, we're going with the guys that got us this far. There will be a lot of players who will be going for their own personal bests in hits or stolen bases, maybe home runs as well. So that is our lineup going into the final month here of September. We'll look at our bullpen, and there's Ruthven, there's Dennis Leonard. They will be making the 2nd and 3rd starts of the month of September. So Gelnar will go in game September 1st, and then the 2nd and the 3rd. And I'm definitely interested in seeing what they have to offer as far as skills go. We didn't get a big sample size from the relief appearances. I don't think we will see them out of spring training next year make the team. I do expect that they'll be in AAA because they have yet to play in AAA. And then maybe after a half a season in AAA, we can call them up maybe around the All-Star game, and they will probably be a permanent fixture in our rotation for seasons to come. Our bullpen is basically back to the normal bullpen. You know what? There are some things here I need to fix. Our problem right now is we don't have a lot of right-handers that are really capable of helping us out. If you take a look down the rest of our extended bullpen, they're all lefties, which is great because they'll get a chance to be loogies for us, just like Ted Davidson is. But, the only other right-hander we have is Fred Gladding, and we know that he's done, right? I mean, we can just quickly look at his log, and you can see he's given up 8 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, all in a row. His ERA is 11.42. He could barely get anyone out. So he's done, and we'll keep him on the roster because we got to fill up a spot here. But otherwise, I would just cut him. But, maybe if we're desperate, we can bring him in. Okay, so that's our pitching staff for the rest of the way. There are definitely some interesting things there for us to learn regarding Ruthven and Leonard. And maybe some of these guys are fighting for a spot. Herbal, Hernandez, Peters, Ron Locke is definitely going to be there. So, there's some things that we can learn from them. Okay, so there it is. There's our September call-ups. We'll take a look here at the standings. Some of this is, pretty self-explanatory at this point. We are now 17 and a half games back. So we are by and large on the verge of being eliminated. That's fine. The problem is, as we're continuing to win, we're 6-4 in our last 10. We are pushing ourselves further and further away from the number one pick in the draft. That's already been solidified. It's going to be the San Diego Padres. As of right now, we have the number 6 pick, which is low, but when we've looked at some of the drafts in the past, whether it's with the Tigers sim season or last year and this year with the Pilots, the top-notch players are pretty much gone by the 6th pick, and we could really use anyone who's got the ability to help us within a couple of seasons. So we're getting further and further away with each win, and I guess that's probably going to be the case considering that we have Leonard and Ruthven. So Baltimore's got a 2-game lead over the Yankees. They just lost Davey Johnson earlier today for almost the entirety of the month of September. So they're short a second baseman. They're also, I believe they have pitching issues. So I don't know how they're going to hold on against the Yankees, but it's a 2-team race. Washington, Boston, Cleveland, and Detroit are all just playing for posterity. You can say pretty much the same thing here in the West. There's no way Minnesota is a better team than Oakland. I don't think that they're going to be right there, but the game is kind of pushing it and making that happen. You'll see that the A's are 3-7 in their last 10 games, and all of our teams are going to be playing all of their teams in the East. So in a sense, I guess it's fair that we are all playing the American League East. So there won't be much change here, I don't think. California, Kansas City, and Chicago are certainly out of it, as well as our team. You look at our team batting average, we're batting around 248. ERA is around 260. Our Pythagorean says we should have 58 wins. We're actually one better, so congratulations to us. And you'll see our team leaders here. Unfortunately, our team leader in wins is Denny Riddleberger with 6. Dave Boswell only has 1 win as a Pilots pitcher, and it was Brabender who led our team with wins before he was traded. I think he had 8. So we'll take a look at the National League. Here's the National League for you. Philadelphia coming on strong out of nowhere. They've won 8 in a row. St. Louis has dropped back to 6. Pittsburgh kind of in it. They're 7.5 back, right around 500. They've won 4 in a row. That just seems weird, but, okay. Los Angeles is 4 games up on Houston. Houston has a ton of injuries, including 2 of their best pitchers, and yet they're only 4 games back. Everybody else is out of it. San Diego's already been eliminated. They're 44.5 games back. And they're 6 games away from losing 100 as we start the month of September. So, that's pretty crazy, right? All right, so let's move on to the league leaders. We're going to go ahead, pardon me, and go by categories here. Offensive first and fielding. We mix them together, and then we'll do pitching. And then we'll take a look at the National League. Just very briefly, only the main categories for the National League. So here we are, we're looking at the American League batting average. All of a sudden, we only have 5 batters over 300. That's kind of ridiculous. The whole game, we've learned its cycle now. It's a roller coaster ride. It's out of the gate, everyone hits, and in the middle of the season, nobody hits. You take that dip, go back up, and now the offenses are coming alive a little bit now. So maybe, we'll have 6 or 7 over 300. The interesting thing is that it's 2 Boston Red Sox leading the American League with a .316 batting average. Hal King and George Scott, Joe Torre for Baltimore, Willie Stargell batting .307 for Baltimore, Cesar Tovar at .305, and you could just scroll down the rest. Joey Pep batting .275 is still in the top 25, but the 25th best hitter is batting .272. So there you have it with batting average. My bad. At bats, Tony Oliva is leading with 514. Feel free to pause these if you want to take a longer look at the leaders. We're going to go doubles. Rod Carew has 30. The leader in doubles with a month ago has 30. That's kind of shocking, right? Tommy Agee's got 22. Nicely done. Extra base hits. Oh, grounding into double plays. We got to have, Darren Johnson's got 19. I'm surprised he's not higher on the list. But Yaz is pretty slow. So is Frank Howard. And they're 1 and 2 and grounding into double plays. Okay, extra base hits. Dalton Jones. What? That's the crazy thing is like Boston was such a hitter's park in the 1970 season. So you're seeing a lot of Boston at the top of the leaderboard. We do have Joe Pepitone with 42, Darren Johnson with 41. It'll be interesting to see who you guys vote for the team MVP because it really could be, 2 or 3 different players all performing about the same. Let's just take a look at the fielding average. Gene Tennis, one of the worst defenders at catcher, is leading in fielding average with a 990. Manny Sanguillen's got a bunch of errors. He's been kind of bad. But he's been great at throwing out base runners. We'll see that coming up. Darren Johnson, actually pretty solid at first base with a 994. Mike Fiore of Kansas City is number 1. Nate Colbert bringing up the rear. Here's second base. Oh, Van Kelly. And he's way ahead. He is the best defender on our team rating-wise. And there you go. There's your own proof. Gary Sutherland getting into plenty of games at second base. You can see the difference. It's only one stat, but that tells you a lot about who we trust and why Van Kelly's getting all the at-bats, despite not hitting at all for our team. Okay, third base, Aurelio Rodriguez, 955. I feel like he's been bad, like worse than he probably should be, but in reality, he isn't that far behind Sal Bando. How many errors has Sal Bando made? Only 11 after a 30 error season. So he's kind of cut his numbers in half. Okay, well, now you know. Rich Rollins making the list. Not great. Okay, shortstop, Mark Belanger. Third best, but really right there, too. Gosh, it's just hard to get him in there. He is hitting more lately, but if we have to sacrifice one batter, I feel like the shortstop, Mark Belanger, is the guy that we always replace. We don't have anyone that qualifies in left field. That's because we got Jose Cruz, who's doing great. He has not made an error, and he's now hit home runs, his first 2, in back-to-back games. So, but Roy White is leading, and that makes sense. He was a great defender. Okay, center field is Del Unser by a couple percentage points. Tommy Agee made an error today. I don't think it cost us, but, it's really the game that makes that decision. And we don't have anyone in right field because Joe Pepitone really has been bouncing between left and right all year. He doesn't have enough games to qualify. But somehow Reggie Jackson, how many errors has he made in right field? Only 1. Good job, Reggie. Definitely not known for being a good defender, but he's getting it done. Okay, games played. Rich Morales is 131 for the White Sox. You see Darren Johnson there on the list. Pardon me. Hits. George Scott leading in hits in the American League, 153. Tommy Agee just making the cusp, 123. He had 124 all last year. So his slugging percentage is down, But his on-base percentage is way up. He's already walked more than he did all last year. His strikeouts have been curtailed somewhat. So he's having a good year. He could be an MVP candidate. All right. Depending on how you feel about, the power game. Who has been hit by pitch the most? Luis Alvarado of the Sox. Jerry Devanin on the list. That's just so random. Okay, home runs. This is crazy. Tony Solita, I believe is the right way to pronounce that, has 39. He's kind of running away with it. Nate Colbert has 31. Darren Johnson, he's been on a home run pace lately. In the last week, what's his log say? Yeah, he's had 3 home runs in the last 5 games, and he's had 6 in the last 20. So it's good to see him at least have a nice, powerful finish to the season. Joey Pep is in the top 10 now with 23, tied with Willie. But you look at this, and there's not very many actual big names. Yeah, Colbert was a home run hitter. Darren Johnson hit 32 one year in real life. George Scott, of course, is a big home run hitter. Not Doug Howard, for crying out loud. Bobby Mercer, yeah, okay. He was a 25 home run hitter in real life. Of course, not Pepitone. Well, Pepitone, yeah, but Willie Stargell, Norm Cash, those were home run. Yeah, Mike Epstein, Reggie. I would like to see some of these names rise here at the end, like Frank Howard, Davey Johnson. He had a 40 home run season in his career. You won't see that happen with him because he's done. But the home runs, I feel like if they hit a few more, we'll probably finish about the right amount of numbers. That's something the game, I think, has got right. We don't care about that. Intentional walks, yeah, nobody. Darren Johnson had 2 in back-to-back 2 in the same game. That's how he's got 3. So intentional walks just don't happen. On-base percentage, wow. Sal Bando and Hal King, both over 400. Everybody else, none of our guys, that's for sure. We don't have anyone that can do that. Maybe Jose Cruz could do it for a whole season. Let's look at outfield assists. We've contributed to so many. Scott Northey especially. Try to take that extra base when it says 90% and it's really negative 5%. And we just don't get there. And nobody on our team. OPS. Solita, 934. Just an edge over Hal King. Darren Johnson, 843, almost in the top 10. Joe Pepitone, 832. That's why they play every game. Even Pepitone, we've kind of hung him out to dry, letting him start versus lefties. His batting average would be better if we didn't penalize him like that. Okay, RBIs. Tony Solita. Solita, I guess. I keep forgetting the right way to say it. He's already over 100. He's got 106. Doug Howard with California. Come on. There's Willie. Some of these names are right. Hawk Taylor. That's a joke. And then we got Darren Johnson. Davey Johnson's done. So Darren Johnson will eventually get past him. Darren Johnson had 63 going into the month of July, and he's had 15 in 2 months. So, 2 months. So that tells you how much he died, and yet he's in the top 10. So maybe that's something that happened to all the players. Joey Pepin has 69. Let's take a look here at runners thrown out by the catcher. Elrod Hendricks has 35. That's because he's terrible, right? No, he's not terrible. He's got 78 rated arm. How many has he thrown out? 35. Okay, well, yeah, that's a lot. Manny Sanguian has thrown out 19. Clay Dalrymple's thrown out 13. They've done their jobs. Here's the percentage. Jim Franch, 43.8%. He's got the 92, right? Yeah. Great job by him. He is tough. Manny Sanguin at 42.2%. That's way above where he was. That's amazing. Oh, I bet you because it's not including his Pittsburgh, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's just his time with us. All right. Well, great job by Manny Sanguin. Okay. Runs scored. Tommy Agee's got 74. Yeah, it's all the Boston and Baltimore and New York. The teams that are truly offensive juggernauts. I don't care about that. Sacrifice hits. It's all pitchers. Well, Dave Boswell probably had most of those with Minnesota. Every time we try to bunt, we are denied. These are all pitchers, not a single hitter. Nerp. Okay, sac flies. Luis Alvarado, light hitting shortstop. Clutch. Slugging percentage is Solita. And Johnson and Pepitone, back to back, 5 and 6. That has to be because of our 350-foot alleyways. Okay, yeah, we were definitely going to remedy that next year. Stolen bases. Tommy Agee tied with Jose Cardinal. I feel like he's just stopped. Look at his log. Well, he's had 5 stolen bases, and they've all been since Tommy Agee got caught up to him in the among the leaders. And he's had 42 years in a row, so maybe that's where he's going to finish. Jerry DeVannon's got 16. He's 16 for 18. Jose Cruz, he gets thrown out a lot. Yeah. We have to do better with him next year, picking the spot for him to run. Who has struck out the most? Billy Parker, 122 times. In this era, that would be, this guy would not be playing, right? They would just put him back to AAA. He would never get a shot. Maybe Willie Stargell would get away with it, or Nate Colbert. Rick Monday struck out 113 times. Good job by Tommy Agee keeping it down, too. Okay, we're almost wrapped up here with the batters. We'll take a look at total bases. George Scott. Yeah, Darren Johnson and Joe Pepitone just don't get enough singles to contribute. Triples. Cesar Tovar has 7. Agee and Belanger have 4. Does Belanger have any with us? He's got all 4 with us. Nice. I did not know that. Walks. Sal Bando has 101 walks. That is insane. You don't see anybody on our team contributing. Mike Hegan would have been in there if we kept him, but he's on St. Louis. Okay, so that's it. I don't see anything else here as far as batters go. Let's go ahead and do pitching really quick. We're just going in order of pitching categories. Catfish Hunter has 11 complete games. Joe Coleman has 10. We have 1 as a team. Oh, man, we're bad. Okay. ERA. Mel Stottlemyre, 276. This is amazing. Only 4 pitchers have under 3 in the American League. It's got to be a lot more in the National League, right? Dave Boswell, under 4. Even the top 25. Mike Nagy with a 420. All right. Okay. Games pitched. Riddleberger, 70. Nice. Yeah, Gladding will probably pitch again. So people are going to blow by him. Ron Locke, he'd be up there further if it wasn't for him starting a few games for us, in which he did a very good job. A fine job. Who's hit the most batters? Dick Estelle. Left-hander. Joe Coleman's a righty. Dave Boswell. I mean, it seems like it's only when we play a pitcher they hit a batter. Okay, we're looking at pitchers. Home runs allowed. Jim Lonborg, 38 for Boston. That makes sense. That stadium gives up a ton. Dave Boswell's given up 24. How many as a Pilot? 11. 11 in 67 innings. 13 with Minnesota in 111 innings. Okay. Homers allowed. Innings pitched. Fritz Peterson. Wow. He's going to get 300, right? He only needs 42.1 to get to 300. I don't think anyone else is going to quite make it. Certainly nobody in our team is going to get to 200. Okay, that's crazy. Innings per game. Fritz, yeah, he's basically right at 8. I mean, they're all right in from 7 to 8. That doesn't make sense, but that's how the game is designed. I don't care about that stuff. Quality starts. Such an unimportant stat, but a couple, actually 3 Mets in a row. Fritzy, Mel, and Al Downing. Nobody in our team. Ribbies. No, Ribbies. What am I? Don't listen to me. Saves. There we go. That's the next important category. Wow, Fred Lasher and his barber jacket has 23. Middleberger's making a little bit of a run here at the end as we start to win some. We did trade Mike Marshall to California. And he's got 11 over there. I don't think he's their closer anymore. He has not been good for them. So, but we traded for Clark, and Clark got injured, and we've already moved him on somewhere else. Shutties. Dick Estelle's got 5 shutouts. More than Catfish, more than Messersmith. Starts. Well, Fritz is only 1 start up on these other pitchers. Okay. Almost done here. Strikeouts pitched. Moorhead has 197. Wow, that's amazing. Boswell, 162. We can't get more than 6 innings from him, though. But he does strike out quite a few batters. All right. Strikeouts per 9. Oh, it's Boswell with 8.19. Wow. That was a good. I think that will be a good trade once we start hitting better next year, I hope. And wins. That ought to do it. Catfish Hunter stuck at 18. How many has he lost in a row now? The game has just killed him. He's lost two in a row, despite throwing complete games. That's just dumb. This game is just dumb. Just ruining some of the seasons. I mean, you would think we would have so many pitchers with 20 wins, but it's just not going to happen. Okay, so there you go with the American League. Let's just take a look at, let's just do this. Here's the American League, and then we're going to switch it to the National League. Look at the main categories. Darrell Evans batting .344. That's because he missed a month, but yeah, he missed 3 weeks. But he's batting .344. OPS is over 1,000. Unbelievable. Pete Rose batting .312. Cepeda, Marv Stahl, Dick Allen, Al Oliver, Billy Williams. I mean, these are all real hitters. I don't know about Marv Stahl, but I mean, Rusty, the only Padre that's worth anything. Johnny Bench, Boog over in Montreal now. Michael Jack, Joe Morgan. But, they're 278. What was ours? 275 or 272? So it's all pretty close. Home runs. What happened to Orlando Cepeda? Did they stop playing him? No, he's only got 3 home runs. He was the leader, I believe, at the end of last month, right? So that's weird. But Michael Jack he's only 20 years old. He wasn't even in the majors yet in real life, and he's leading the National League in home runs. Oh, look at his log. Oh, wow. He's got 10 home runs in the last 20 games, 28 ribby. Crushing it. That's cool. And Boog, stirring it up in the National League. It's Johnny Bench. Top 10. I mean, they're all in the 20s. That's pretty good. You're not going to see any Cardinals in there. That stadium does not hit home runs. Hank Aaron got traded to the A's. He had 16 before, and now they have him as a pinch hitter. All right. Runs batted in. Wow, Orlando Cepeda, 113. That is quite a few more than Solita. Michael Jack's got 99. I mean, the offense is real in the National League at this point. Oops, damn it. There we go. And stolen bases. Matt Alexander of the Cubs has 63. I think he's a rookie, right? Now he's in his second season. What's his speed? 97. What? And Bobby Bonds, Davey Lopes, Joe Morgan. These are all guys who run. Lou Brock, Bobby Tolan. Very cool. Okay. Let's take a look at the pitcher stats. We're going to switch these out really quick. And get the main categories. Wins. Wow, they got 3 20-game winners already. Nolan Ryan and Rick Wise both have 22. Don Wilson, who I would have thought would be the Cy Young, has 21. A couple more Houston pitchers. J.R. Richard is still injured, right? For 4 more days, so he'll be back. They could close the gap against the Dodgers. That's going to be an exciting race. Okay. ERA, wow. Don Wilson, 1.72. Nolan Ryan, 2.14. All these big names. Hall of Famers, Cy Young Award winners. The National League is the better league, I think. Strikeouts pitched. Yeah, that's no joke. It's Nolan Ryan, 257. He's going to get to 300. He's going to break his own record, I think, right? He had 314 last year. He's at 257. And as long as he's able to make all of his starts down the stretch, he's going to break the record for a season. Which I think the 314 is the record, technically. Okay. Very cool. And saves. Kent DeColvey of Pittsburgh's got 22. And then you see the rest here. Yeah, people just didn't really save much back then. So that's probably accurate. Okay. Well, there's the league leaders. We did not look at headlines after the game today. New York gets within 2 games. Derek knocks in 4 in a loss. We saw the transactions with Davey Johnson getting injured. I think that brings us up to speed. I think that's going to do it for us today. Earlier today, I did make a basketball card video. I opened up some cards. I'm going to put that video like right about here. You can check it out if you have time. It's only about 4 minutes long. And we pulled a LeBron, a couple of Giannis. It was a great pack to open. And then also, I have, you may have noticed on the title card, I've already started creating Pilots 1971 Topps cards for next season. Some of those players, like Sutherland, might not even be on the team. But it's been fun for me to try to create those. I am going to make a 1971 card for every player who makes the opening day roster for the 1971 season. It's going to be a lot of work, but what am I doing? I got nothing else to do. So that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Like and or subscribe, and we will be back tomorrow with the first game of September. Until then, everyone, have a great day.